Hello and welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews. It's Gaming Friday. I'm Gary.
And I'm a star survivor.
And today we are taking a look at Resident Evil 4, which came out on the 11th of January 2005, exclusive to the GameCube. Was of course developed and produced by Capcom and is the 6th major installment in the Resident Evil series.
Yeah.
Now, we of course reviewed all the Resident Evil films over a course of 3 or 4 weeks.
Seemed longer,
yeah. And we covered the Resident Evil remake, Resident Evil 2, 3, and Code Veronica.
Yeah.
And it's been a little while, but ever since then I did continue playing Resident Evil, and I didn't play this one though. I kind of skipped over 4 and jumped into Resident Evil Biohazard and then the Revelations games, which we'll eventually get to on the channel.
Yeah.
But this one is, after the first one, probably the most famous in the series.
Well, this one changed the dynamic of it, wasn't it? You know,
Massively.
it was all Leon.
I just loved it.
It was
just having nostalgia flashbacks
Yeah.
right now.
You know, it was all Leon. It was a new virus. You know, it was connected loosely to Umbrella, but it was starting its own new story. We stemmed away from Chris and Joe and Claire. And it's like, yeah, let's see what Leon was up to.
Yeah. Now, obviously, I said this was an exclusive to GameCube, and Capcom have been known to go, yes, exclusive.
Yeah.
Before, but the thing is with Resident Evil 4, before the GameCube was even a console, Resident Evil 4 was already signed to be an exclusive for the PS2.
Yeah.
Which is why different Resident Evil games were then made and released to fulfill that quota of making an exclusive game for them.
Well, PS2, I didn't think could handle Resident Evil 4 at that time.
Well, it could at the time because Resident Evil 4 went through quite a few different iterations, which I'll get to in a minute. But I just want to say that since 2005, you can now get Resident Evil 4 on your Android, a PS2, PS3, PS4, Nintendo Wii, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PC, and on iOS. Like, there's pretty much nothing now that doesn't have Resident Evil 4 or Skyrim. So, as you said, you play US Special Forces Agent Leon Kennedy, survivor of the Raccoon City zombie incident.
Yeah.
And now you're on a mission to rescue Ashley Graham, which just so happens to be the president's daughter in Spain from a sinister cult.
Yeah.
Now, development for this game went through hell. It literally went through 4 versions.
I'd like a game one day where they go, this game was really amazing and development was really easy.
Yeah, it just kind of
happened, you know.
Yeah. But they built the game. They built Resident Evil 4, then scrapped it. Then they built it again, then scrapped it. Then they built it again, and scrapped it. This is the 4th version of Resident Evil 4.
Wow, funny.
Yes, yeah. And as you can tell, well, you can't tell right now, but this was a major shift in storytelling, in gameplay, for survival horror, for third-person shooters. It really, tipped the boat.
Well, one thing I always found with this one was the camera changed.
Yes, but it was no longer fixed camera.
Yeah.
Like, this is the first Resident Evil to change it.
Yeah, and that was really good because a lot of the action sequences were made even better because you were following
Leon.
Leon.
A bigger play area, essentially.
You were following Leon from behind and you knew you were being chased. But, where in the older games the camera would change and you would see the thing and you could run away from it. In this, you didn't know how close they were until you spun around and realised they were right there on your fucking face.
Yes, yeah. And so the big shift for this game is that the survival horror, or even just the horror elements of the game, massively dropped in favour of action.
Yes.
Now, during the development of the game, obviously going through the 4 different versions, with it being mostly the development team that had worked on all the previous Resident Evils, they were tired. They've watching the game get scrapped again and again, and then they left and went to go and work on different projects. They're like, I'm done making survival horror games. I've made loads. That's all I'm doing.
All I'm seeing is zombies.
I don't want to be making another Resident Evil, so they all left. The ones that stayed wanted to make a horror game. When the direction was turned into action, the staff that were making this were just fed up. You couldn't even motivate them to do any work in the office because they hated the fact that their Resident Evil is now becoming a generic action shooter.
Yeah.
But, you know, they stuck to it and they kept working on it. And I think what they have made is, you know, a defining chapter in gaming in terms of survival horror and third-person shooters.
Yeah.
You know, I see Dead Space when I look back and see this game.
Yeah.
You know, for what it is. Although, this game, I will say, does have its horror moments.
Ooh, I'm trying to shoot that crow. What's the fire button? X. There we go. Got it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, this is also the first Resident Evil to introduce sort of loot drops.
Yes.
And point systems and upgrade systems.
Yes. And it works in this one, but keeping it for the later Resident Evils, Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6.
Dropped for Biohazard.
Was just... It dragged it out. You know, like we said, it really, really works with this game.
Yeah.
And was really good as this original feature. But then bring it into 5 and 6. I'm like, oh, you're just ripping off Resident Evil 4 now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Now, I came to Resident Evil 4 really late. Obviously, I love Resident Evil 1 and 2 and 3 and Veronica. But then when they went Resident Evil 0, GameCube exclusive, Resident Evil 4, GameCube exclusive,
Yeah.
Chainsaw Edition,
Yeah.
you know, everything else, I was just like, you know, I've just gone from PlayStation, I've gone to Xbox. It's like, I'm not going to buy a GameCube just to follow this game franchise that that I've loved. Even though it's got my favourite character from the franchise in it, I was still like, I'm just going to let it pass. And everyone was telling me it was the best game they've ever played. It's so good. And I was like, yeah, fine. I did eventually get hold of a GameCube and I played Resident Evil 0.
Yeah.
And never actually finished it.
It's hard as fuck.
Then, of course, Resident Evil 4 came to the Xbox 360 and now is available on the Xbox One. And I thought, great, I've owned the game digitally from the Microsoft Store for the 360. I'll download it on my Xbox One. And no. Microsoft were like, that'll be £16, please. I was like, I'm not paying for the game I already own digitally from you. What's the difference? Oh, it's got an HD makeover, but it's not an HD makeover like the Resident Evil 1.
Yeah.
So why would I pay for it again? So what you're looking at now is the 360 version because I'm too much of a tight ass to buy the game again.
Man, I was the same. I didn't play Resident Evil 4 until I got it for the Wii.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and then it was on discount price.
I know you played it before I did.
Yeah, well, I played it. I played it briefly on the GameCube, but like you, it was just like I'm not going out and buying a computer just for one game. I'll wait because it's bound to come out on everything, and then.
Well, it wasn't it wasn't originally.
No, it wasn't originally, but I just knew that it was so big that everybody would be buying it. I've got to remember all the buttons. It's been a while. So, right, that's knife. There's a quick turn, isn't there?
I think so.
No, that's the map. So, where's the... There we go, inventory. Yeah, because you got to combine your ammo.
Yeah.
We did... I can't combine that with... Let's... I've got that equipped, yeah. Go to combine. Combine with the bullets. Nope.
Different button?
No, I'm trying.
Weird.
B goes back.
Is there a tutorial to do?
Yeah, maybe I've got to get to the town first. But it was like it came up at
It's so long since we played Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, it came up at the start saying about checking for your memory stuff, and I couldn't work it out. I just thought screw it, we'll just start the video. But both of us have completed this game all the way through and 1,000 pointed it. And one of the coolest things was the PGL 1000 laser that you get at the end.
And it's a one-shot everything.
Oh, yeah.
I still say the best platinum trophy achievement in-game reward is in Dead Space with the rubber foam.
The rubber foam hand is
with Isaac going pew 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 pew.
It's definitely
is just the greatest thing.
Yeah.
But Resident Evil's had that tradition though throughout the series of completing the game multiple times, getting the best rating, so hardly saving, not dying, completing it in record time, rescuing everyone, whatever it was, or not using first aid sprays. You would eventually unlock unlimited ammo for the magnums, machine guns, rocket launchers, grenade launchers.
Reload.
Now you reload.
Yeah, now I'm reloading. Thank you very much.
He's a bit rusty.
Oh shit! Run! There's a pitchfork guy behind me. I'm trying to remember what the quick turn button is, but I can't remember. So I'm just gonna shoot him.
It's weird seeing a Resident Evil game with your ammo counter in the bottom right corner with the health bar as well.
Yeah.
Such a luxury.
It brought in the merchant, this one as well, which...
What you buying?
Yeah. Welcome, stranger! Yeah.
He's never been in any Resident Evil game and never appears in any other Resident Evil game.
You never hear about his backstory. He's just this guy who you collect all the money through the game, and then you go to him and he just gives you all the cool weapons, which is really cool. I love that.
Could have just helped you out and just went, here, you need this.
But it's like, who is he? Where does he come from? Why does he have all these guns?
Yeah.
You know,
you can see these were some of the issues that the developers of the game were having, where it was like the realism, the realism of what's going on, and then this game kind of like bending it by having the gun merchant and by having
reloads.
and Avery does really and by having the over the topness of these characters, because Leon in this, he kind of reminds me of what's he called, Guy Pearce in Lockout.
Oh, Snow.
Yeah, he's just over the top. It's really he's kind of like a Snake Plissken, It's just it's just odd.
Well, the funny thing is
but it does fit this game.
There was you had the Resident Evil. It's the dog, isn't it? Yes, he can help you.
You had you later.
Yeah, the Resident Evil Umbrella stories and Dark Side Chronicles that came out on the Wii, which were the on-rail shooters. And the Dark Side Chronicles tells the story of Leon and Krauser.
Right.
Krauser's obviously the guy in this one that you end up fighting later on.
He's the knife guy, isn't he?
He's the knife guy. Now, in Dark Side Chronicles, they do the whole... there's explosives there. I've got to take that out. They're on this mission, which is set before Resident Evil 4, and it really does set up this whole extra backstory of, in that one, Leon is still the kind of rookie, but with some of the things he experiences and deals with in that story with Krauser,
shows you the change of character that he is now.
Yeah,
in this
that
one.
He comes onto this one. So then, what I really liked was going and seeing that, and then realizing, that's why Krauser's like that. That's why Krauser's mutated and done these things, and that's why Leon doesn't give a shit anymore, because you either work with Umbrella or you don't.
Right? Yeah.
And if you do, well, you're a bad guy.
So, what do you think of the gameplay for this one?
Like we said, HD remasters always just tidy up the graphics, but for me, this. I'm lying at the moment, actually. Oh, fucking hell. Look at that. Because I remember this game at the start, when you haven't got that much ammo, when you're still remembering where stuff is. It's scary.
Yes.
It's still scary. When you get further on and you've got all your guns upgraded and you're starting to kick ass a bit more, and you know where all the enemies are and you remember all the buttons.
Yeah.
You're a badass.
Yes.
That little green bar down the bottom is all the way around the top.
You've got different weapons to pull from.
Look at that. Yeah, you've got grenade launchers, machine guns, shotguns. You've upgraded them. The fire rate is better.
Yeah.
It's just... But these guys... At first, I wasn't too sure about not having zombies.
Yes.
But then I did love the whole inbred country bumpkins kind of trying to mess me up aspect. And then when...
The introduction of the Las Plagas virus. What did you think of it?
I liked the Las Plagas in this game.
Yeah.
Not in the movies. I liked it in this game because it was something new. Like I said, I started to get a bit tired of zombies, shamblings and
lickers and hunters and tyrants.
The same old. But these guys, I mean, look at them. They're smart. They're thinking. These are before you get to Resident Evil 5, where they're planning. You can lock yourself in a room, but they will start bashing down the door and coming through windows.
They will break down your barriades
and hiding behind
in front of windows.
Yeah, and some of them have explosives, and some of them have guns, and some of them have. You have to deal with different types of people later on. That the monsters actually look. You're wanting a monster to come along because you're like, how do I deal with this guy? Do I just lob grenades all around? But I need the grenades for the boss, and it gets really, really great. I didn't like the little Napoleon dude.
I was going to say, the villains in this game, it reminds me of a villain from Code Veronica.
Yes.
It's that kind of cartoony character type.
Yeah.
And then you have this whole Metal Gear Solid radio intercom system talking with each other.
Yeah, I know the buttons. I've already learnt the buttons before I got here, you dozy cow. But
so what do you think of the puzzles in the game?
They were a lot easier, I think, from the other Resident Evils, which I kind of did enjoy, because some of the older ones, especially 2 and 3, where you had to get electronics and stuff to work, and
obviously the inventory system in this game is a lot easier to manage, with things having a certain size or taking up certain spaces, so you could juggle your inventory around to carry more items. There is still the magic box that holds all of your items and transports them wherever you are.
I'm trying to remember how to do this, because I'm pretty sure the chainsaw guy will turn up at some point and fuck me up.
What do you think of the bosses in this one?
The bosses were really good, but still no massive explanation. It was all still very mysterious. Like, I remember the giant.
Yeah.
The El Gigante, when he turns up, it's like, wow, look how big that is. It's like 4 times the size of Nemesis. How did you get something as big as that? Oh, shit. Oh, fuck you, motherfucker. Ah, missed him again.
I think playing this game, I had one of those horror moments that I hadn't had since Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
And the first one, you had the shark. In the second one, you had the crocodile in the sewers.
Yes.
This one here has you out on a little boat.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as you come to that pier, I just looked out and went, no, you can't make me go out there.
Yeah.
You know?
You have to get out on top of it.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
And the creature, obviously you've got to harpoon it. And you start getting dragged around the lake. Oh my, I died several times on that boss fight, just trying to shoot it in the mouth as it tries to eat you and the boat.
Yes.
But
yes.
I'll also say that there are boss fights in this game which upsets me on for replayability. It would just annoy me. And that's quick time events.
Yeah.
Resident Evil introduced quick time button events for boss fights. And on the harder difficulty settings, you have literally less than a second to push the button, or you're going to watch the animation, you're going to die, you're going to load it back up, run to the boss battle, and do it all over again.
Yeah.
Really agitated me. Didn't like it. Still don't like it, because obviously quick button presses would return in the other Resident Evils as well.
I mean, it was good to go alongside with the action dynamic of the game. You know, it had to keep you on your toes. But yes, some of them were a little bit over the top. I thought it started getting a bit tiresome at the end, when, you know, you basically just had to do enough damage to the boss that something would pop out of its back or its face, you know, and just keep shooting that now. You know, just keep deal with that. Ooh, an egg.
You could throw eggs at the enemies.
Yeah, but that's it. It's back in A. That's all right. Quick turn. There we go. I knew I'd get it at some point. But
it's all coming back to you, Leon.
Yeah, it's all coming back. One of the coolest things was when it fucking nail your ass. Right, okay. Let's get... Yeah, you want to fuck with this? Eat that.
Nice.
I mean, I'm not really bothering to save it, so I might as well just
use stuff up.
Use the grenade up, but it's...
Oh,
hey, motherfucker.
Shoot that guy off the roof.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's one of the coolest things was the survival mode that the game gave you later on. You know, once you've unlocked it and unlocked certain... his hands
Steady
are...
that shot.
I'm trying to... No, boom, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yes. It was just see how many waves you can go with so much ammo, and then you unlock certain characters. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate on these guys as well. I should just run through. Get those ammo. Get the ammo. Take it.
Now go.
Run,
No, quick.
Run.
You need to reload too.
Yes, I know, Gary, I know.
Yeah, I know you know. I'm just telling you so you do know.
You got the survival element, and you could play as Leon, you could play as Krauser. I think you could unlock Wesker at some point. I'm not
Maybe
too
Ada?
sure. Ada as well, yeah. And then you had all these different types of ammos, and see how many rounds you could go, and it was like a really good horde mode.
Yes,
you know?
yeah.
I can't jump down there. Has anybody come up the ladder? Jump down. Right, okay, run. Yeah, don't forget, Ian. It's
obviously,
not horde
with
mode.
Resident Evil, sometimes you need to know when to run and when to stand and fight.
Especially at this start point. Chainsaw guy.
Yeah, there he is.
Crap.
Leon, You're dead.
You're dead, mate.
You are dead.
You are dead. I've totally forgot he's right there. I should have saved the grenades. People just watch me do the grenade bit going, you should have saved those grenades, Ian. I'm like, I know.
Where are you to? You're back.
I'm back at the start, so I'm going to...
So what do you think of the difficulty of the game, even with the difficulty options at the start?
Well, it's just normal and easy, isn't it? You know,
yeah.
There's you don't unlock hard mode, I think, until later on.
Until you finish it once. I think it unlocks it no matter what difficulty you finish it on.
But once you've done everything, you know, you're a badass at this game.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, you know where the ammo is. You know where how the guns work.
You know how the enemies work.
Yeah.
You know the map.
Yeah, and it's like when you start going on the survival modes. I mean, you could last for rounds, loads and loads of rounds, because you know how everything works. Oh, fuck you, bitch. You know, you can...
So the difficulty is fairly high when you begin, but
yes.
The more you play, the game might be trying to get more difficult, but you should be good enough or better than the game as you're going through.
Yes.
There'll be... What I would say, so the game's not overly difficult. It's frustrating in places.
Yeah, at the start, it's hard, you know, and that's what you expect the game to be. Later on, everything just gets slightly easier because you are more skilled as a player. I know he's getting back up, but I think I can just run through here at the moment.
I don't know, if you put him down enough times, he drops special.
Yeah. Fuck.
Nice. Yeah, he's definitely dead now.
I could do this all day, motherfuckers. You know, and you become more skillful. But then when you decide to do it on a harder setting, it all resets. You know, you're like, I've just completed on easy with all the cool shit. I'll go on to hard.
Yeah.
And all your stuff disappears. You have to remember to... Oh, shit.
Oh, dear.
They must be pressing against from the other side. I think I've got to go through the church. Run! You have to... You have to just go. You just have to go with it. How badass you can go, and depend on how far you want to go with the game.
Yeah.
You know, do you want to complete it on hard? It's going to be harder. That, like you said, that boat level with that creature. Yeah. That's probably one of the hardest bosses on hard mode.
Yes. Yeah.
On hard mode. But
because you have a lot limited ammo, so you need to be able to run away from the enemies to get to those boss fights to have the ammo in order to be able to do it.
Yeah, and you've got to know you can't miss any shots, because if you die, you die, you start getting frustrated. If you start getting frustrated, you'll make more mistakes. You'll die, and then you're thinking, oh crap, why am I doing this? You're doing this because of your love of Resident Evil.
Yeah, and because of this game as well. You know, the more you play it, the more you will just come to love the game as well.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the setting of this one, taking Resident Evil to Spain?
It was new. Like I said, I was starting to get a little bit bored with the whole Raccoon City.
Haunted mansions.
Yeah.
We've had the apocalyptic city, and we've had scientific research stations at this point.
Yeah, it was. You know, it was all starting to get a bit boring. This was all new. Like, I mean, like this whole opening sequence with Leon. You know, I've come into this town. I've got my gun. These people shouldn't be attacking me. And look at them. There's fucking hordes of them.
Yeah.
You know, they're getting ladders. They're getting ready. I've got to use my environment to protect myself, to hold them off. You know, some of them got chainsaws, can kill you in one hit.
Yeah.
And that's right at the start.
Yes.
You know. Like I said, they brought this stuff in with the other Resident Evils, and I knew what was going on then. So I was just like, well, this is all easy. I know what's coming. There's another guy with a chainsaw. I'll just keep shooting him in the face, because that's what I did in Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
You know, you could have. I mean, I love that. Look at that. Imagine the zombies were doing that in the first game. Bashing through shit.
Well, that's why when I look at Resident Evil 4, I cannot wait for the Resident Evil 2 remake, which is still very little news coming out about it.
Yeah.
But I want Resident Evil 2 remake to be a bit like Resident Evil 4 in terms of its gameplay. I would quite like that. I love the original Resident Evil games.
Oh, yeah, motherfuckers.
And I don't know if Resident Evil 2 would work with the fixed camera. I would be quite happy with Resident Evil 2 remake being like this one. I don't know. But again, I sometimes just go back and play Resident Evil 2, so
yeah, just for
love that
just
game.
for fun. I mean,
Yeah,
look,
speed runs.
it's the same thing with the weapons. My shotgun's only got 6 rounds at the moment. I remember you can, fucking bitch, you can get it upgraded to at least 10 rounds.
Yes,
you know, which just is so much better. Your gun fires a lot quicker, and there's a lot more. Your accuracy is a lot better. So as the game gets on, you start getting better, and then it makes it more fun for more replayability. I want to shoot that cow, but it's kind of out of order.
So, do you recommend Resident Evil 4, Ian?
Yes. As Resident Evil fans, you've probably already... Sorry, I'm changing quickly.
Very quickly.
You've already played it. Where did he go?
Is that him over there? Is he rolling around over there on the left?
I don't know.
You should check in case he gets back up and comes back at you.
Oh,
he's behind you.
Oh, fucker! Yeah,
that's what I was worried of. He's not. He's not done because he hasn't dropped any loot yet.
Come on, motherfuckers, get up. Yeah.
So I mean, I would recommend Resident Evil 4 to obviously. If you're a Resident Evil fan, you should have at least played it. If you're new to Resident Evil and you've discovered like Resident Evil Biohazard, obviously go back. You must have heard about how good Resident Evil 4 is and how it changed the genre.
I've got no more shotgun on my left. Fuck.
You know, the game received massive critical acclaim when it came out for its narrative, its gameplay, its voice acting, the characters.
Fuck.
It won multiple Game of the Year awards.
Fuck.
It massively shifted the direction of all third-person shooters and changed the nature of survival horror games.
No, I don't want that.
Edge magazine gave it a 10 out of 10. IGN gave the game a 9.8 out of 10. And the game still holds a 96 out of 100 on Metacritic. I'm sure Leon would disagree at this point.
Yeah, I remember at this point, I've just got to hold off against them.
You do,
I
it's
just got to hold off.
Yeah.
And not waste so much ammo.
Well, it's good timing, Ian, because with that, I just want to say thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next Friday with another video game. Of course, new film reviews on Thursdays. You can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Patreon. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time.
I'm not going back in there now. I'm not going back in there. I mean, look at that guy. Look at what happened to that guy.
He got it easy.